HY, HYUK in the place. All praises, man. All praises, man. The water for having me, man. It's a pleasure to do the work of the Most High. We're out here laboring. Yeah. Am I able to share my screen? Um, who's it? Who's
Uh,
the
yeah, Shemaiah. What you on,
Hey,
laptop?
Salaki King. Um,
Yeah.
Power just cut off in my um a couple of on my breaker, which is powering my computer. So I'm on that cell phone right now. I set it to record, but I can't stream until I get to my computer back up. So
Okay.
how many people are on?
We got 9 right now.
Let's see if we could give me 5 minutes more, see if I could get this power going.
if you can make me host, so I can share my
Oh yeah,
screen.
Khan.
Water.
Yeah, me too as well.
Khan.
I can share.
Um, yeah, man.
Which one is Peter?
Peter Samurai Jake.
Okay, Khan.
Yeah, Khan. Water. Yeah, Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is Peter from HYUK from a place called England. And I'm from a place called Birmingham. It's in the middle of England. Okay, don't worry about them Londoners. Don't worry about them lot. Yeah.
This
This
man
is
right here.
Birmingham's the main spot. You get me? Birmingham. Yeah. When you come to England, you ask them lot, where's Brum? Yeah. And I'll come and direct you.
Good.
Um, yeah. No one cares about London down here. Straight bypass them niggas, come straight to Brum. Yeah, man.
Yo,
Yeah,
you see Israel? There's division even across the world.
yeah, man. Forget them southerners, you get me?
Right.
Forget them southerners, man. Oh, man.
These curses worldwide, goddamn.
Yeah, there's little beef as well still there, but it's good.
Right.
I love them brothers, man. I love them.
God.
I look after them, man. But yeah,
God.
man, all praises. So yeah. So I'll make a start when ready. When we're ready, I'll make a start. Give it like what, 5 minutes, you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it like 5 minutes. Shalom to everybody, shalom. Those that don't know me, shalom. The water for turning up the water. Let's keep doing the work.
You came to build.
Let's keep doing the work, man. Yeah. Man's out here plowing. Yeah, man.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, but when I put up the UK, let me see if I can show that video. That joint's fire. Put up the UK, they almost threw us in the damn dungeons. Threw us in the dungeon, man. So what in the bloody hell is that? You got it on the HYUK channel?
Um, should be. Which one? Which one are you looking for?
The one on YouTube. When we did our camp, when we did the Unity camp.
Oh, that's on Violent Israel's one. That's on Violent Israel channel. On Violent
Oh,
Israel.
I found it.
Yeah, to the man, them there.
Who they had? The president was or the prime minister. Well, we call the president is what they call the prime minister. over there. All right.
Hey, just go ahead with the class. When I straighten out my power issue, I'll just start the stream.
Nah.
Right now I'm having some issues with power. It's kind of crazy.
Let me show this real quick.
Well, show that.
So, this was when we pulled up the UK.
Who are the true servants of God? The servants of prophets. And the servants of the prophets is Israel. Who are the servants? It's the Isaiah 44 verse.
Yeah, that's the one.
They almost threw us in the barracks, Doc.
And we only teach the Bible.
I like to hear.
This belongs to us. Our weapons, and we know how to use it. This is it. Bring it out. Get out. Jacob. My servant. Jacob is what? My servant. Jacob is what? My servant. You know? Israel. And Israel is what? My Bible is what? I am chosen. You have what? You are chosen. God did not choose no Israel. God did not choose no Israel. God chose Israel. Jacob. It's the words of God, whether you like it or not. And for you Israelites, y'all proud as hell. Matter of fact, God allowed Abraham to bless y'all. They got a great nation. But the covenant don't belong to y'all. That belongs to the children of Israel. Look at that Roman Catholic force. What's so damn much? Bring it out. We are the servants of God. That's who the hell we are. This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, and verse 4. Bring it out. Who are Israelites? Who are Israelites? You are Israelites. The Bible says, bring it out. Who are Israelites? Wait, so who are Israelites?
Christ, he looks like this.
The adoption, and the glory, and the glory, and the covenant,
The covenant.
The covenant in the Old Testament belonged to us, and the giving of the law, and the what? And the giving of the law, and the giving of.
Yeah, shalom, family. That was a quick video. When he pulled up in UK. He said it was madness, man.
Yeah, madness, man.
Yeah, it was madness. They try to bring us up to the Queen of England and serve us up in the damn guillotine.
Yeah.
Throw us up in the damn guillotine, man.
It's hung, drawn, and quartered, man.
Good.
Hung, drawn, and quartered. Yeah.
So all praises.
Oh, boy.
So I yield out. Yeah, let me stop this.
So I've got a reader, right? Is he
Come.
able to read from the screen? Okay. I'm gonna make a start, right? All right, cool. All right, so yep, shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Yeah, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. Yeah, Thawada to Yahweh for giving us another day's life and another day's breath, man. We're still here. You understand? We're still here. Each time that you wake up, man, we've got another day's breath, man, another day's life to bring forth this kingdom, man, to put in the work, to make your election sure. So all praises, man. My name is Peter, Samurai Jake. Yeah. I'm from the UK, HY UK. We was ploughing in an area called Birmingham. It's the middle of the UK, middle of England. And yeah, man, we're out here to do the work. So I'm going to do a little lesson about King James. Okay. I'll show you little ones and twos about King James and what we know over here about King James. For one, King James is not a popular figure in England. Don't think that he is popular. It's a bit like Ahmadinejad. I remember the old president in Iran. Now over here, we'll be like, yeah, Ahmadinejad's on it. And then you speak to the Iranians and they hate his guts. It's pretty similar to that over here. So you might think King James is popular, but then when you get over there, you'll realize it's something different. All right? So let me share my screen. And hope brothers and sisters can read that. Yeah, come on. We've got a reader. Can you read that, buddy? Yeah, Yazayam.
Con. Okay, you make it bigger? Okay. James the First, born June 19, 1566, Edinburgh Castle, Edinburgh, Scotland. Died March 27, 1625. Theobald's
Yeah. Hertfordshire.
Hertfordshire, England, was the king of Scotland. As James the Fifth,
I think it's James VI.
James the Sixth, from
Yeah.
1567 to 1625, and first Stuart, King of England.
Right, stop there, over there. So, as you can see there, his name's sometimes he's known as James the First, sometimes he's known as James the Sixth. So it depends on where you are. So, for example, if you're English, you're gonna know him as the first James. If you're in Scotland, it's James the Sixth. Okay, so he wasn't the first James in Scotland, but he was the first one in England. So sometimes they mix and mash that around. All right. So as you can see here, he died around 1625. All right. So let's see if we can see some more about him. All right. So if you can read that for me, please, brother Babakasha.
James was the only son of Mary, Queen of Scots, and her second husband, Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley.
All right, stop there. Water. So James had a mother called Mary, Queen of Scots. And if you can see here, his pops, his name was Henry Stuart. Now the word Stuart, it comes from the word swarthy. Okay, let me see if I can find that here. Khan. If you could read that definition for me.
Dark skin, definitions of swarthy, adjective, naturally having skin of a dark color.
Khan, that's it, daughter. So dark skin, swarthy means dark skin. That's what the word Stuart, actually, the etymology of the word Stuart comes from. Okay, but we're going to get into that a bit more, right? Let's go back to just a little bit more history on King James. So his mother was Mary, Queen of Scots, right? You could read the rest of that, please. 8 months after King James's birth. Daughter.
8 months after King James' birth, his father died when his house was destroyed by an explosion.
Up there. So his pops now died in an explosion. Okay, let's see who was responsible for the explosion. Right? Keep reading.
After her third marriage to James Hepburn, 4th Earl of Bothwell, Mary was defeated by rebel Scottish lords and abdicated the throne.
Basically, Mary, Queen of Scots, she abdicated the throne, so she gave it up. Okay, so let's see if we can figure out why she gave up the throne. All right. We could read from this highlighted bit here. It says 1965.
In 1565, she married her English cousin, Lord Darnley, in order to reinforce her claim of succession to the English throne after Elizabeth's death. In 1567, Darnley was mysteriously killed in an explosion to Kirk O'Field, and Mary's lover, the Earl of Bothwell, was the key suspect. Although Bothwell was acquitted of the charge, his marriage to Mary in the same year enraged the nobility.
Let's stop there. All right, and so basically, to cut a long story short, right? Mary was committing adultery and she had her next man on the go. And then she decided to get King James's dad, his father, killed. So by the time King James was a certain age, his dad was already dead. Okay. And then from that point onwards, his mum had abdicated the throne because she was accused of this murder. So let's see if we can see any more. Yes, if we could read down here from this highlighted version, please. This highlighted point.
In 1568, Mary escaped from captivity and raised a substantial army, but was defeated and fled to England.
So she fled to England. Now, Queen Elizabeth was basically her cousin once removed. Okay? Keep reading, Baba Kasha.
Queen Elizabeth initially welcomed Mary, but was soon forced to put her friend under house arrest after Mary became the focus of various English, Catholic, and Spanish plots to overthrow Elizabeth.
All right, so stop there. The water. So even though it says friend, we go into the history, they were actually cousins, they were actually family. All right, so they weren't exactly friends. Okay. Now you're gonna see a constant theme of these Catholics and the Spanish. Okay. You'll see a constant theme of of Catholics and Spanish. All right. Let me see if I can find some more. All right then. Let me have a look here. Yeah, if you could read from about here, Papa Kusha.
Mary was imprisoned in the Loch Leven Castle on 24 July 1567. She was forced to abdicate in favor of her one-year-old son, James VI.
All right, stop there. So, this is what we're talking about. She abdicated, she gave up the throne because she was already being accused of assassinating her husband. So she had to give up the throne. King James was a one-year-old, and he King James was a one-year-old, and he was king at like 1 or 2 years old. All right. Keep reading. What about here?
Okay. After an unsuccessful attempt to regain the throne, she fled southward, seeking the protection of her first cousin once removed, Elizabeth I of England.
That's Elizabeth I of England. Okay, that's her cousin once removed. All right. So let's go back to King James. All right. Let's see if I can find some more. You could read from about here.
The young king was kept fairly isolated, but was given a good education until the age of 14. He studied Greek, French, and Latin, and made good use of a library of classical and religious writings that his tutors, George Buchanan and Peter Young, assembled for him. James is okay.
Daughter. So you have to understand, King James was well educated. This weren't no stupid man. Okay, he knows his stuff. Even though he knew his stuff, he knew his information, he knew his knowledge. Even when you look into the future of King James, he still used scholars and experts to do a certain works. Well, this is just so you understand the background of this brother. He weren't no joke. Okay, he was kept isolated, away from all the foolishness. Okay, there was no Nickelodeon and MTV. He was just in the tower, just learning Greek, French, Latin, and he learned under well-studied brothers. Okay, keep going.
James' education aroused in him literary ambitions rarely found in princes, but which also tended to make him a pedant.
Keep going.
Before James was 12, he had taken the government nominally into his own hands when the Earl of Morton was driven from the regency in 1578.
Right, stop there.
That-
Daughter. So, understand this, right? Is that even at the age, before the age of 12, he was already dealing with government. This is the level of the brother. Before any kind of, you understand? Before anything, he's got his hands in there and he's kind of doing his thing. It shows you the levels of the brother. This also shows you that if we paid attention and stayed off all this foolishness out in the world, what level we could reach. Some of our children could reach if we take them out of the world and just train them what level they will get to without outside influences. If he can do that back in, what was it, 1578, imagine what we could do now with the knowledge that's available to us, right? You could keep reading, Baba Kusha.
Before James was 12, he had Salakia. For several years more, however, James renamed the puppet of contending entrenchers and faction leaders. After falling under the influence of the Duke of Lennox, a Roman Catholic who schemed to win back Scotland for the imprisoned Queen Mary, James was kidnapped by William Ruthven, first Earl of Gower, in 1582, and was forced to denounce Lennox. The following year, James escaped from his Protestant captors and began to pursue his own policies as king. His chief purpose were to escape from subservience to Scottish factions and to establish his claim to second the childless Elizabeth I upon the throne of England.
So stop there. So the Most High is leading King James in a way to eventually succeed Elizabeth I, because she had no children. So he would be the next in line to take over. Okay, and as you can see there, James was kidnapped, right? And he was also tricked by Roman Catholics as well. Okay, and then there was a point where he was kidnapped as well. So he's gone through a bit of what do you call it? He's gone through a bit of adversity. So from the age of 1, or 2 years old, it's already up against it. Dad's died, mom's gone, 12 years old, he's dealing with government. Next thing you know, he's kidnapped. This is all happening at a young age. Okay, well, this is leading him towards something. All right, so we've got Mary, Queen of Scots. Now let's go to Elizabeth. Now, this is Elizabeth the First, right? Now, as you know, or as you should know, that England was ruled by blacks or so-called blacks. All these kings and queens, you see them here, looking ugly and pasty and white. They did not look like this. This happened during the Renaissance. Okay, where they got people like Michelangelo, Leonardo, and Donatello. They weren't turtles, they were painters. And these painters changed these images. Okay, so we got Elizabeth I. She had a mother called Anne Boleyn. This was like the queen mother. Okay, this is like the mother of the queen. Okay, so Queen Elizabeth, she had a mother called Anne Boleyn. Let's have a look at Anne Boleyn now. We've always seen here the word swarthy. It means dark-skinned. Okay, it's also linked to the word Stuart. Because a lot of times in England, you're just called what you are. Like you've got one guy called Douglas the Black. You know somebody else called Robert the Bruce. And Bruce meant brush after his big black beard. Okay, so in England you had people that were just called that Robert the Black. I mean Robert the Bruce, Douglas the Black, or the Black Douglas. All right. So let's look here. This is the appearance of Anne Boleyn, and she is the cousin first removed of the mother of King James. Okay. My brother, this writing might be a bit small, but can you read that?
Start from the beginning.
Good.
Come. Anne Boleyn's appearance has been Salaki. That's it out. Salaki. Anne Boleyn's appearance has been twisted by those who wish to denounce her.
So that's lucky to hold it there. So Anne Boleyn's appearance has been twisted. They don't want you to know that there were black monarchs or so-called black monarchs. They don't want you to know this. They want us to think that they were all white. They paid quite a lot of attention at making sure we did not know that these people in these different monarchs and kings in these different countries were black. They paid a lot of time. No one would even know this. You have to understand, right? You see over here in the UK, this is like Esau's mum's house. You see over there in the US, that's like Esau's whole house. That's his whole house. Over here, this is like his mum's house. He keeps it squeaky clean. Do you understand? No guns, loads of more CCTV per square mile than anywhere else in the world. That's the UK. He keeps it squeaky clean over here. Don't want nobody to know that these Scots were black. All these different things. That's what it said here. Anne Boleyn's appearance has been twisted by those who wanted to denounce her. It's been twisted. Why? Let's keep reading. Baba Kusha, read it.
Contemporary accounts were distorted by the author's usual dislike of her. After her death, a monstrous legend was built up.
Stop there.
Nicholas.
So as you know, even in the scriptures, it says about a name. Your name is really important. Back then, there weren't no internet. There weren't no this. There weren't no that. So your name was even more important. Because once a rumor goes out, that's a serious thing. People can get put to death behind these things. Now, sometimes someone hears something, no one says nothing. Back then, it meant something. So after a death, they paid quite a lot of attention on creating bad rumors about her. Okay, keep reading. Baba Kushia.
Nicholas Sanders' description provides the supreme calumny,
Huh?
the divination ambassador provided a more impartial report, but still not all the flattering. So, what is universally agreed upon?
All right, and stop there. So he's going to create an impartial report. Now, all because that these monarchs were black. I'm not. I'm not going to testify for their conduct. Do you understand? So all because they were black, that don't mean that they were well behaved. That don't mean certain things. I'm just showing you these people were black. They were Israel. Okay. Read on, please.
Anne Boleyn was very dark. All writers agree on this point.
Everyone,
White.
all scholars agree on this point. This isn't even for argument. She was very dark. Not even an argument. Obviously, as you know, black people naturally we don't read. We don't read. It says in Revelations, "Blessed is those who read in it." But we don't read. If we read, would know it ain't even an argument, ain't even a contest. The mother of Queen Elizabeth was black. Keep reading.
Wyatt says she was not so whitely as above all we may esteem. Sanders said she had a sallow complexion, as if troubled with jaundice.
Yeah, jaundice. Jaundice is like when you're discolored. All right, keep going.
And the Venetian ambassador said she had a swarthy complexion, dark brown.
A swarthy complexion. Swarthy means what? Dark skinned.
Dark skin. Dark brown or black hair, along with eyes so dark they were almost black, and a very dark skin combined to make Anne Boleyn conspicuously dark.
Right, and stop there. Right. So just to show you a description of Anne Boleyn, this is to build up a picture now, that there were dark-skinned monarchs on the throne. Okay. Also, there's also evidence to show you, as you can see, plenty of pictures of King James being black. His pops was black. Mary Scott was black. These were all dark-skinned. Okay. But just to show you the root of certain things, the mother of Queen Elizabeth I was dark-skinned. Not to say that we're vouching for their conduct, because Mary Scott was on a madness. You understand? She was on a madness. All right. So let's go back to King James. Where are they? King James had a son. All right, if you could read this here for me, please, my brother. I'm probably about there.
James was a strong advocate of royal absolutism, and his conflicts with an increasingly self-assertive parliament set the stage for the rebellion against the successor,
So
Charles I.
His successor was Charles I. Charles I was the son of King James and also Charles II. Okay, so we're going to show you this is what we call Mash is a question. Do you guys know what a pub is? P-U-B, a pub. Does anybody know? No? All right. So in the UK, we've got something called a pub. But if anyone's ever heard of it, right, it's basically Esau's church. Okay, so what you guys call church, Esau's got his thing called a pub. And he goes there and he drinks. You understand? He gets drunk, starts going on a madness, watches the football, watches the boxing, watches whatever. That's the white man's church. Okay, it's called a pub or a public house. I don't know if any of you guys ever heard of that before. I don't know. Well, basically, right, there's a pub not far from me now in a place called Solihull called the Black Boy. All right, let's see if I can get it to show you the actual place. Images. Hold on, I don't know if I can get anything up with this.
Salakia.
Huh?
That don't sound like a church. That sound like the club.
Well, to the white man, yeah. To the white man, it's his church. Trust me. That's his church. I'm telling you. Anything happens, go to the pub. Yeah, anything goes wrong, go to the pub. You don't want to be around the wife, you go to the pub. You want to watch the football? That's the white man's church. He loves that. That's his thing. Yeah, that's his thing. Right. So this is called the Black Boy. All right, we've got pubs all across England. They ain't too popular because they don't want you to know about them. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, they don't want you to know about these things. Well, this is called the Black Boy. All right. Now let's go into what the Black Boy actually is, right? See if I can history on the Black Boy. All right. Yeah. If you could read that for me, please, Baba Kushar. About there.
Pubs across England called the Black Boy are generally named after King Charles II.
Oh.
It was a nickname coined by his mother because of the darkness of his skin and eyes.
Can't stop there. Stop there. So, pubs are these are pubs named after the King Charles, and they blatantly tell you, right? They blatantly tell you that it's named after his description. Okay, it's named after his description. Now, one of these ain't far from me. It's about 20 minutes, 15 minutes from my house. It's called the Black Boy. There was an article or something that or so the article was rumors that Black Lives Matter, they wanted this place closed and changed. Now people would look on the surface and go, oh yeah, it's called the Black Boy. But really they want to do what? Delete the history. So we don't have the nuggets. So we can trace it back and figure out who we are and realize, boom, we was in England. But really the history was there all along. That we are the original British. We're the original British man. And we was in England, which wasn't called Angelland. Okay? So that's blatantly in your face. Like most of the locals, you tell them about this, don't believe it even exists. Okay? So that's just to show you that some of those people were black. And we have a book here called Ancient and Modern Britons by David McRitchie. I don't know if some of you have got this book. I have this book as well, right? Yeah. it also shows you that there were dark people in England and in Scotland and in Wales, right? And we were here first. Okay, you take out all of Esau and all his foolishness and that, England ain't even that bad still. It ain't even that bad. Okay, the weather ain't the best, but England ain't even that bad. You just take out Esau, dash him out, throw him away, and we're all good. You get me? We're all good. All right. So we're gonna get an extract out of this book. Write this down. Zoom in. Okay. If you could read Baba Kushar, when it says "but at any rate," what about here? Oh.
I'm trying to see what you're thinking.
All right. Let me zoom in a bit more. How's about now? Is that better?
No, I'm zooming in, but I'm just trying to figure out what you're talking about reading.
Yeah.
I can't see the whole article. Oh, you want me? Okay. But at any rate, the people known as Iberians were spread all over the British island.
Right, stop there. So, the people known as the Iberians were spread all over the British Isles. Just remember that, okay? Keep going.
Whether indigenous or immigrants.
Stop there. So, indigenous or immigrants, so either they came there from foreign lands or they've always been there. Because we were here before them. Okay, we kind of come here a long time. Right? Keep going.
And some of their tribes were known as Damnani.
Yeah, Damnani, yeah.
And Soloris. This seems to be generally admitted physically. They were swarthy of color, had curly hair, and were bearded like goats.
Stop there. So you have to understand, these were Israelites. They were swarthy of color, curly hair, and bearded like goats. Yeah, we kept our beard, man was keeping the law. Do you understand? Swarthy of color, dark skin, curly hair, big beard. Yeah, keep going.
This some good stuff. They or some clans of them worship the gods, and both men and women professed a knowledge of the future.
Stop there. So obviously, you see how they're trying to explain it, but you know we can read between the lines. So we profess knowledge of the future. We would prophesy. Okay, worship the gods. Okay, so we had an idea of a creator. Right? That's them saying it for themselves. And they even said, what did they say there? They said, this seems to be generally admitted. So it was widely known. Right? Keep going.
So then the Druids and Druidesses, who had colleges in an island near the coast of Brittany, who professed a knowledge of the future, who the men at least were figured as bearded like goats, and who worshiped the gods, were dark-skinned, curly-haired Iberians of the tribe of the Soloris and Damnani Salakia. This seems a fair interference.
So they're saying here basically that seems like common knowledge, or that seems fair to describe them that way. So the ancient Britons were black, There's another page I wanted was 144. So lucky I'm on while I just scroll to the 144th page of this book. 114th page. So lucky. Right, so for those who don't know, this book is the Ancient and Modern Britons. Right. Now we can start anywhere on this. Start anywhere on this. Let's start here. You see that highlighted piece there?
Huh.
Cool.
And in the
Let's start.
wars of the Geed Hill
Yeah.
and the Gale and the Gale and Gales and Gals, the Denari are styled black Dinars or black Danes.
So these are Black Danes. We're led to understand, right, that these might be Dan. Okay, the tribe of Dan. Led to understand that these Black Danes is the tribe of Dan. Okay. Keep reading.
That's wild.
Mm. Yeah, keep
Black
reading.
Danes. And
Yeah,
and these
Black Danes.
terms, is there any hint that the color of their hair is indicated? But the expression used by Saint Burton in speaking of the Norwegians leaves no room for doubt.
Stop there.
He calls them
Stop there. So you have to understand, right? The North in Scandinavia, we were in Scandinavia. The what they called the Anglo-Saxons. That was us. We are the Anglo-Saxons. We're the angelic sons of Isaac. That's what Anglo-Saxon means. Angelic sons of Isaac. That's us. So we were over there. So we've gone from over there and came over here. Okay, so we are those people. As I said to you before, I'm not condoning any of their behaviors. You're going to see a madness, but we were those people. That's why when Paul is commissioned to talk to certain people, and he mentions barbarians and things like that, that was us. We are those barbarians. Okay, we are those Anglo-Saxons. Now, I'm not saying we're everybody that was over in Scandinavia, but that's who we were. And then the Anglo-Saxons came over to England. All right, keep reading.
come. He calls them the Gentiles pure color. The Danes then were not of pure color. They were dub black. As black, at any rate, let us suppose, as the black Huns, who were of a dark complexion, almost black.
All right, and so these people were black. These Danes, these Scandinavians that came over here were black. Okay, this is further information that these people that came over here were of a dark hue. They were of a dark complexion. And he even says there, where did it say there? He said, as black at any rate. So we were different shades of what you'd call black. We know it's brown, but we were different shades of black. Okay, they knew this. This is common knowledge. This book is cheap, you know. Like 20 quid, 20 English pounds. 20 English pounds. Yeah. So they know this, they know the information. There's more in that book as well, you know. That's just two little snippets for to get two witnesses for you to show you that we are these people. All right. So now let's go into a little bit about King James. All right. Where shall I start? Let's start around here.
Khan, the Church of England immediately indicated how problematic religion and the various religious groups called could be for James as the new king of England.
Stop there. So there were different factions in England rising. Really, what it actually was you had Rome rising up again, yeah, after the Dark Ages, and trying to take back over the lands that it once occupied. That's what was actually happening. We read it and they say, oh, different religious factions, oh, the Catholics, the Protestants, blah, blah, blah. No, what happened was we know Rome fell for a bit, and then it started to come back again slowly. And this is just little pockets of them trying to get back, sending in Jesuits to come around and try and take over certain spots, trying to execute certain people. That's what was happening here. Right? Keep going.
From the other extreme, the gunpowder plot of 1605 showed James an even more direct threat he could face from Catholics.
So the Catholics did something called the gunpowder plot. We're going to go into that later, right? But keep going.
In many ways, whatever James did in religion would never stop there being disputes with the more hardline Puritans of Catholics unless they achieved the church they wanted.
Go ahead and stop there. So basically, these Puritans, we say they're like Christians, yeah. We say Puritans are those pure Bible believers, and then you had the Catholics. That's Rome trying to take back over. They're always going to be at loggerheads, but it goes a little deeper than that, right? If you could, read from about here.
Okay. And James clearly saw the church as a prop to order and his authority. Hence his stage, no bishop, no king.
Stop
James
there. Stop there. So King James was saying no bishop, no king. He was trying to reinforce his authority. That's what he liked. He liked authority, and he was educated, so he knew the importance of it. Right? Keep going.
James reinforced that he would not accept any disputes over religion through Bancroft's canons of 1605 and the oath of allegiance in 1606. James actually lessened the chance of disputes over religion, however, by seeking to maintain the Jacobean balance and
Stop
making
there.
clear.
Stop there. That's a key word. He's trying to maintain the Jacobean balance. Okay, let's see if we can go into the word Jacobean. If you can see here, in the Greek, it's what? Can you read that, my brother?
In the Greek, the Jacobean, original Greek, Lakabos.
And then underneath it?
Lakobos, Jacob. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Them man they knew. Them man there, they knew. So look, let's go back to it. He's trying to achieve. Let me get that out of the way. How's that? Yeah, he's trying to achieve a Jacobean balance. Yeah. That's what King James was trying to achieve. The man that knew who they were, you know. Not to say, I'll keep repeating, not to say that he was doing the right thing, you know, because there's certain little things he had off. But them man they knew they were Israel. Okay, and it goes deeper. All right. Do we go for more on this? Yeah, let's keep going on this. Let's keep going.
And making clear that while he had set boundaries. His general approach to both Puritans and Catholics was that although he hated extremes, he was willing to pragmatically accept a degree of diversity in the church, as this would keep a broad Protestant church and therefore allow the majority to feel that they could conform, even if it was just outwardly. Similarly, James was willing to accept closet or quiet Catholics as long as they outwardly conformed and posed no direct threat to his authority.
Stop there.
James,
Stop there. So that's where he made a mistake. Okay. Of many things that he did, that's where he made a mistake. He's basically right. He's gone, the Catholics can, you can come in. This could be a house of worship. Do you understand? As long as you don't bring your doctrine to the forefront, just keep your thing on the wraps. You just come and pay homage and done. That's the mistake he made. So he's basically saying to me, you can conform, but just even if it's just outwardly. But underneath, really, you're a Catholic. Okay, so that was a mistake that he made. All right. Yeah, man. So he wasn't. He did his job. You get me, but it was just.
And that's how they work their way in now.
Say again.
I said that's how they work their way in now.
Yes. Exactly. That's how they get in. Oh yeah, don't worry. We'll bow to your God. Yeah. We'll learn all your ways. We won't take over though. And what happens? You know what Esau's like. He'll take over, and we trust them. And the next minute, you know, they're beheading the king or trying to kill him or whatever. All right. So, Don Jacobian. All right. So we're gonna go into a little bit about King James. All right. A little bit about King James. So one thing about King James, most people should know, he hated witches. I don't know if anybody knows that. He didn't like witches, but at first he didn't really care about them. He thought it didn't mean anything. All right? Obviously, we know the scriptures is thou shalt not suffer a witch to live, but he didn't really care about them at first. All right? So let's read this then.
There's Salaki.
Read Bible for sure.
There's no evidence that James VI of Scotland greatly interested in witchcraft before 1590. For much of his reign, he remained skeptical about the existence of witches with the supposed power to harm or heal.
So he's like, I don't even know if these witches even real. I don't think they're even real. We know now, in our time, that these evil powers are real. They're actually out there. Obviously, don't get it twisted. With the power of Yahweh, sure, we can broke them up. But we know that they're there. He, back in this time, 1590, he's thinking, this ain't even real. I don't believe none of this. Okay, keep going.
Despite this, James would have been aware that if witches with the power to do harm actually did exist, they could represent a serious threat to both society and the king personally having come to the throne as an infant and survived several attempts on both his life and his throne. James had every reason to feel insecure.
Yeah, see, you had every reason, right? Now let's see what happened here, right? Keep going.
The Northbury witches. In 1590, James married Anne of Denmark.
So,
on return,
you might add Denmark. There's evidence to show that she was black, of course, but we'll keep going.
On return from Scandinavia of Scotland, the king's ship was battered by severe storms, and it was suggested that the dark arts were being used by his enemies to prevent him returning safely to Scotland. This was the alleged work of the North Berwick witches who confessed after torture to acting with the devil against James.
So what's happening here is obviously we know what King James is gonna do in it. The spirits know what King James was gonna do. They know what he was going to do. He's gonna do something kind of powerful. But so the devil is being used, and they're using the devil to attack James or come against him in certain areas. He didn't believe it was even real. Right? Keep reading.
Agnes Sampson was one of those accused of trying to kill James using witchcraft. During her confession, she claimed that she attacked parts of a corpse to a cat
To a cat.
sailed to sea in a sieve,
Yep.
and then put the cat into the sea to create a storm to shipwreck the king.
This stuff's real, you know. Don't play about with this stuff, you know. This is real stuff, man. Keep going.
That's crazy. How long you went? Did you go up too far or something?
Sorry, yeah. Just read from here.
Oh, okay. This direct threat to the king, who the devil reportedly viewed as his chief enemy on earth,
Up there.
seemed
So at this point, James was was the devil's chief enemy.
Wow.
We know what King James was about to do. We're going to go into it, but we know what King James was about to do. And they knew what he was about to do. All right? Keep going.
Seemed to provoke James' interest in witchcraft. James personally questioned many of the accused, but remained skeptical about the reality of the deeds they confessed to. This changed when Agnes Sampson said she could prove she was a witch by recounting to James his conversation with his new bride on their wedding night. Agnes must have convinced James, as from this point he was persuaded of the reality of the threat against him.
All right, and so stop there. So just to cut a long story short, right? James eventually he was like, nah, these are real. She recalled a conversation that he had that he had with his wife on their wedding night. And from then on, he was like, nah, these are real. Got to kill these guys. These guys have got to die. And that's why there were times, right, when witches tried to kill King James, and he would sit in the inquest when they're being tortured. He'd sit in the inquest and listen, and want to know how and why they're doing what they're doing. But he knew that they were real after a certain point. There was a point when he didn't believe it, as most of us say, witches ain't real. That's your natural go-to. No, witches ain't real. And they're actually real. These witches are real. All right? What have we got here? All right, and yes, if you could read that, please, Baba Kushan. Now we're going to go into something that King James did. Okay? Read that, Baba Kushan.
King James Version. English translation of the Bible published in 1611 under the auspices of King James I of England. The translation had a marked influence on English literary style and was generally accepted as the standard English Bible from the mid-17th to the early 20th century.
Basically, what they're saying here, right, is that nearly all English literature is based on the King James Bible. The King James Bible standardized English. That's why most English words that you get are actually from the King James Bible. Before that, you've got other Bibles like the Wycliffe, the Geneva, the Great, the Coverdale, all these different Bibles, but they weren't based on the same scholastic level that this one was, because this one's the first time when the monarch was involved in keeping the translators safe. Okay, because that's what was happening. People were trying to translate the Bible and they were getting killed, murked, taken for criminal, all these different things. Now we would look at it and go, yeah, that's because it's just no. What was happening was the devil don't want and Esau don't want the Bible to be translated in its true form, so we can read it in our time. That's what's actually happening. But we're gonna get into that. Okay. So let's any more preparation early editions? Yes.
Man, it's a good lesson.
Praise the Most High Yahweh, man. Praise the Most High Yahweh.
It's good.
Read from about there, yeah? Give them.
Given the perceived need for a new authorized translation, James was quick to appreciate the broader value of the proposal and at once made the project his own. By June 30th, 1604, James had approved a list of 54 revisers, although extant records show that 47 scholars actually participated. They were organized into 6 companies. 2 each were working separately at Westminster, Oxford, and Cambridge on sections of the Bible assigned to them. Richard Bancroft, 1544 to 1640, Archbishop of Canterbury, served as overseer and established doctrinal conventions. From the translators, the new Bible was published in 1611.
All right, and so what's happened here is King James has authorized these scholars to translate the Bible, and they were put into panels or companies or teams, right? There was actually two panels working on the new one panel working on the New Testament and one working on the Old. So that was actually a whole panel, but I think there was only 2 scholars working on the Apocrypha. Quote me if I'm wrong. But that's why when it comes to the lexicons, there's more lexicons for the New and the Old Testament, but there's not as many for the Apocrypha. Okay, well that's what he did, and this was the first time this was actually done, and the king was keeping these people safe, because these people were getting killed and murdered. This is not a joke thing. These people, Jesuits and Catholics that he's allowing to come into the church and pretend to be Puritans, right, outwardly, or inwardly, they were was it ravening wolves? Yeah, ravening wolves, and they were killing scholars, killing translators, murking them, because they didn't want it to be English. Huh?
Well, was it those Catholics that he was letting come into the church killing the scholars?
No, most likely. That was a mistake he made. Most likely it was those
Right.
That's how it works. You let them in. Don't. What he said. Don't let them beside you. Don't put them to the right or to the left. It's the same thing.
Wow.
It's the same thing.
But it's a good lesson.
Come. That's what was happening, man. Yeah.
Hey, Salaki, King.
Huh?
You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, if any of y'all know, there's a TV show on Netflix. I don't know if they still have it up. It's called The Tudors.
Yeah.
Based on King Henry VIII. And one of his wives was Anne Boleyn. The one you was talking about, they said was dark, the Queen Mother. The same thing that happened with King James, with the Catholics coming in the church, against the Puritans and everything. The same exact mistake King Henry VIII made as well too. when he trusted them, allowed them in, and then he started to overturn the church. And he was a king monarch. So it's the same thing with him putting all these damn wicked demons and Jesuits to death. The same exact thing King James did as well too, which is crazy as hell. Was his King Henry was King James, I think, like what great grandfather or something.
Yeah, come.
Yeah, it's the same cycle. Like it was repeated again. Yeah, beautiful lesson, King.
Repeat it again, because these Rome's basically Esau, and they've got what, perpetual hatred for us. So this is a constant battle. They were trying their hardest to stop this translation. They were trying their hardest to infiltrate England. We would do stupid things like let them in. Don't get it twisted. These kings ain't exonerated from any badness. They were doing madness as well. Don't get it twisted. They were doing madness. Okay, they will be killing their wives for no reason and marrying this person that shouldn't be. They're doing all that. All right, they're doing all that. All right. If you could, yes, you could read this for me, Baba Kasha.
Not since the Septuagint, the Greek language version of the Hebrew Scriptures, Old Testament, produced between the 3rd and the 2nd centuries BCE, had a translation of the Bible been undertaken under royal sponsorship as a cooperative venture on so grandiose a scale.
So basically, what's basically saying, right, is never has this happened before a long time that under royal sponsorship. Remember, King James is protecting these people because these people are getting killed for translating these scriptures. They're getting killed. Constant battle. Keep going.
An elaborate set of rules was contrived to curb individual proclivities and to ensure the translation's scholarly and non-partisan character. In contrast, earlier practice, the new version was to use vulgar forms of proper names, e.g. Jonas or Jonah, for the Hebrew Yonah, in keeping with its aim to make the scriptures popular and familiar.
So basically, right, what's happened here is the old translations weren't standardized English, and it wasn't properly funded. Now it's getting properly funded by the king. You're gonna get a proper version. Before it was some cowboy versions. Now you got the proper thing. But what's happened here also is when these scholars have translated these scriptures, they haven't used commentary. When these were first translated, obviously you got these Bibles with commentary now, but when these were first translated, there was no commentary trying to tell you what you should and shouldn't believe. And there was a standardized English. The Catholic Church didn't want that. They didn't want the Bible to be translated and have a standardized English that all us can read. They were trying to stop this at all costs. That's why you got this battle between what you call Puritans and Catholics, or Protestants and Catholics. So what was King James trying to do? Keep the Jacobean balance. Okay. All right. Is there any more on that? Yeah, keep reading.
My bad. Yonah, in keeping with its aim to make the scriptures popular and familiar, the translators used not only extant English language translations, including the partial translation by William Tyndale, 1490 to 1536, but also Jewish commentaries to guide their work. The wealth of scholarly tools available to the translator made the final choice of rendering an exercise in originality and independent judgment. For this reason, the new version was more faithful to the original languages of the Bible and more scholarly than any of its predecessors.
All right, and stop there. So basically, right, what we can say here, right, is people use a term now called comparative text, where you can compare the KJV to the GNT to the NLT to the RSV to all these different versions. But as it just said there, right, the King James is the most honest translation. No translation that we have is going to be have no errors in it. It's King James did the best of what he had available to him. Okay, and he actually did the best because he had the best at that time. He didn't have Google. He didn't have the Dead Sea Scrolls. He didn't have any of these things. He had the Masoretic text, the Greek Septuagint, the Latin Vulgate, the Textus Receptus, the Codex Vatinicus. He had all these different resources. But that's why it says there, the new version was more faithful to the original language of the Bible and was more scholarly than any of its predecessors. It's the most honest translation. The KJV is the most honest. But even so, if we were to be straightforward with this, that the translators, they had their own preconceived views. King James had his own preconceived views, but they pushed those to a side and they translated the scriptures to the best of their ability. Okay? But we can go deeper into what they actually thought. But I'll just give you a historical. Keep reading, Baba Kusha.
The impact of the original Hebrew upon the revisers was so pronounced that they seem to have made a conscious effort to imitate its rhythm and style in their translation of the Hebrew scriptures. The literary style of the English New Testament actually turned out to be superior to that of its Greek original.
That's one of the reasons trying to kill King James. And remember, King James was taught the Greek from a long time. You knew the Greek from a long time. So imagine being able to speak these 3 or 4 different languages, and then also authorizing the best scholars in England. Cambridge University is one of the best universities in the world. Oxford University, one of the best universities in the world. They're called red brick universities. I think you call them colleges. So you call it colleges. In the UK, we call it university. It's one of the best in the world. And imagine back then. Imagine back then how prestige Oxford and Cambridge University was, right? Okay, now let's go into some of the translators, right? Where should we start? Yeah. Let's start here.
The history of the Bible translation is as terrible as it is enthralling.
Yep.
Terrible because of the courageous translators, torture and death, and enthralling because in the history of the translator, as in war, we observe deadly battles over ideas. War, of course.
Stop there. So basically, right, sometimes when you're seeing these wars, the 80 Years' Wars and the Lowland Wars and the French Wars and the English Civil War, people thinking, yeah, that's just about, it's had a little beef. No, these are religious wars, This is wars like, I want to control this Bible. You're not translating this Bible. You're not having this area. I need to kill all these black lords and black kings. I need to kill them and all these black earls that own land. I need to get rid of them. He can't be here because Satan is guiding the Vatican, is guiding Rome. Yeah, you do this. Yeah, you do that. Yeah, you do this. Yeah, you do that. So we look at these battles and think it's just battles, just here. Having a fight. Two white boys having a scrap. Nah, boss man. It weren't two white boys having a scrap. Right, keep reading. Oh, sorry. A scrap means they don't know. That just mean like having a fight. Right? That's what we're using. Having a scrap. Right? Keep reading.
War, of course, dominated the European continent for much of the early modern history. In Western Europe, from 1524 to 1648, religious wars continuously roared on between Roman Catholics and Protestants. We have the 80 Years' War in the Lowlands at 1568 to 1648. The French Wars of Religion, 1562 to 1598. The 30 Years' War, 1618 to 1648. And the English Civil War, 1642 to 1651. These civil and international wars annihilated national and daily being populations suffered and diminished. Losers, the millions, were not uncommon during those years. 3 million people died during the Crusades, the Great War between Christianity and Islam.
So all these wars are religious wars. Who's going to get this land? Who's going to get that? Okay, that's what this was all about. Right, keep going.
At the same time, clergy and scholars were waging a hot war over Bible translation. The clergy wished to maintain exclusive knowledge of the text while scholars sought to open the Bible to the common reader.
Stop there.
These scholars.
Stop there. The water, stop there. So the clergy wish to maintain exclusive knowledge of the text. They didn't want us to read and know this word. Instead, but then other scholars, they wanted to open the Bible to when it says the common reader, that's just the common man, the normal man. Any man can just read it. But they wanted to hold on to it. Nah, the man can't read this. Because they know what happened if we read it, innit? Look now. And this is where it started in the UK. Right? Keep going.
These scholars, however, even if they were professors at Oxford or Cambridge, were completely unprotected by their institutions.
So stop there. Remember we spoke before how King James protected the scholars after this point. But before that, these guys were trying to do a thing, but with no protection. That's why the King KJV so prestige, because this was the time when the king saying, "Yo, nobody touch these man here. Nobody's touching these men. Make sure they translate it and do it correctly." Under protection and sponsorship. Give them a little money as well. Give a little change. Right? Keep going.
One of these men was John Wycliffe, CA 1384, master of Balliol College of Oxford. Wycliffe, known as, I don't know, I can't get to the, you gotta, a flower of Oxford. Hold on. Wycliffe, known as the Flower of Oxford Scholarship, ventured the first translation of the Bible into English. Poor South.
Right, and
To be
stop there. So when you're saying poor sap, this is a Wycliffe Bible. This is the Wycliffe. Right, I've got one. It's no good. Yeah, he tried a thing. But it's no good. Do you understand? The English language isn't. He tried what he could do, but the English language isn't. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see that?
Con.
Yeah. If you
yeah.
notice, it'll say like, where's it say it now? It says it somewhere. OC, yeah, that's probably correct. There's other bits that's just not correct. Laodicianus. So it had Laodicianus in it. You can see that. Laodicianus.
What that mean?
I think that was to the Laodiceans. I don't know. It's just an epistle that wasn't canonized. No one accepted that. But this was no good. He tried a thing. But you're gonna read now. You're gonna read now why it was no good. Right. Go on, read that, Baba Kasha.
I'm trying from the top.
Yeah, not to be so.
No, to be so virtuous and courageous. Wycliffe actually knew no Hebrew or Greek.
Stop there. He knew no. He tried the thing with no Hebrew or Greek, you know. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
This guy tried it. He tried it. But this is what people were doing, though. People were trying it. The spirit was there. Do you understand? The spirit was there to try and translate these scriptures. The spirit was there, but why with no Hebrew or Greek? I don't know what you're doing. You're firing blanks here, brother. You understand? It's not.
Did you, Salakia, have you compared scriptures?
Yes, I got some scriptures here.
I'm talking about prepared King James Version scriptures to the Wycliffe scriptures.
Oh, have I compared them?
Yeah.
I have, but it's no good. I've compared like when you read, if I find it, I'm trying off the cuff. The easiest one was Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy. I don't know if I can find it off the top of my head now. Look at Jeremiah. But now the thing is as well, it's not standard English, so it's all over the place. Where would Deuteronomy be? I did find it once. Me no know. There it is. Boom. Numbers, Deuteronomy. I can find it. This one. Numbers. Well, 2860. Let's see if it does that. No, it's no good, fam. I'll try and read. You can actually get it in the blue letter, you know. You know, you go on the blue letter. You can actually get it.
Oh, okay.
2868. I don't know if you can see that. It says 2868. It's Deuteronomy 2868. He said, "The Lord shall lead thee, Ayan Bishippas, into Egypt, by the way of which he said to thee, that thou shouldest no more see it. There thou shalt be sealed to thine enemies, into Cervantes and handmaidens, and noon shall deliver thee." You understand? English is mad. I don't know if you can see that. Can you guys
You
see
said
that?
what? You said what again? What book and chapter?
28 and 68.
Deuteronomy?
Yeah, yeah, Deuteronomy 28 and 68 right there. Can you guys see it?
Wow.
Yeah. It was non-standardized English. Because it was non-standardized English now, like it was no good. But he's gonna show you, yeah, if you keep reading, it'll literally just tell you. It literally just tell you. Right? Because even though he was trying it, he did no good. But then also he had no protection from the king. So what do you think is going to happen? Okay. If you could keep reading that, Baba Shah.
So relied on Saint Jerome's Latin Vulgate to make his way. This blasphemous act maketh the Bible heard and read in common English, not Latin, made him a criminal.
And this is what was happening. So these guys,
Wow.
they got no protection from the king, and they're trying a thing. Which he trying a thing. The spirit was there, but boy, so you don't know Hebrew and Greek. I don't know what going. And it's all right, but nah. I just bought it for just say I've got the collection. Trying to buy every Bible I can buy. You know what I mean? But yeah, so it made him criminal. Made him a criminal. They want to hear that. Okay, they didn't want to hear that. All right.
Hey,
So
Salakia, King.
Huh?
That man, there's some funny stuff, man. That man tried to translate that joint to pig Latin.
Yeah.
That man, that's crazy, Ak. That man was not qualified. He was not the man for the job. He was not the man for the job. And Salakia, that's crazy. The Lord had, like you were saying with King James, the same thing like with Paul, where the Lord had him learn different languages, scholarly, know so much information, education, all different type of levels of scholarship, all different languages. So from him to know all these languages, so Latin, the Greek, he mastered it all. So he knew exactly who to pick to translate these the books. And he knew if they was lying or telling the truth. And they're gonna try to flip it up to try to, put their own things into it and everything. And like the brother was saying, it's one thing when a dude with no resources is trying to get some stuff done, trying to create his own book. It's another thing when the king himself is like the president. He has the money, he has the bank. He could funnel in all the money for this specific project, billions of trillions of dollars worth for this project, and make sure everything is on point while protecting the people that's doing the work for him. Like, yeah, that dude tried to nigger rig it. The Wyclef version, he tried to nigger rig it with pig Latin translation. And then the king deemed him as a blasphemer, probably killed him too, boy. Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, you really got
beautiful answer, man.
Salakia Cap. James could also double back and look over their work after they was done, and without them playing him, you know what I'm saying, trying to slip any other type of translations in there on him because he knew the languages just like they did. That's wild.
Hey, one more thing. The Lord gave him everything he needed. He was equipped. He was the right man for the job. Yeah. And like the brother Peter was saying, that's why it was Satan deemed King James as the ultimate enemy on the earth. The same thing he did with Peter. Yeah. Yahweh Shai told him, Satan is looking to have you. Yeah. And upon this church, I'm going to build you upon my church as the rock. Same thing with King Henry. Same thing happened with him too as well. So this is some great information I keep bringing out. I'm like, anybody could have brought it out, but it's better if people that's literally at the land, at the place, that knows intricate details of the history, for this type of lesson. So you're the right man for the job, brother. I yield. Kwame.
All praise to the Most High Yahweh, man. All praise.
That's right.
I've got a precept. You can get me Psalm 68 and 11.
This is the book of Psalms. chapter 6 to 8 and 11, when everybody has it, say come.
Uh,
And it read, the Lord gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it.
okay. So the Lord gave the word, you know. So when his word needs to get published, his word needs to get written down, the Lord gave it, and great was the company of those who published it. The Spirit was on these people. The Spirit was on King James. That's what people need to understand. The Spirit was on King James, published this Bible. Yeah. You can also get me Psalms 33 and 4.
You said Psalms what?
Psalms 33 and 4.
This is the book of Psalms 33 and 4, when you got to say come. For the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth.
The word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth. That's why the Spirit was on King James to do this for us. And he knew certain things. He knew certain things. Right, let's go into a little thing that he knew. See if I can let's see if I can find what I'm looking for. Yeah. Right, yeah. Let's start from here.
A prince, as your highness, is whose allowance and acceptance of our labors shall more honor us and encourage us than all the columnation and hard interpretations of other men shall dismay us.
So stop there. So this is actually in the introduction to your King James Bible. Most people have got a 1611. This is in the introduction. Okay, he's telling you why he's translating the scriptures. He's telling you why he did it. Okay, keep going.
So that if on the one side we shall be produced by popish persons.
By what?
Popish persons.
Popish persons. Okay?
Popish.
By popish persons. Let me quickly get that up. What is a popish person? Okay. Popish person. Can you read that, Baba Kasha?
The words popery, adjective popish, and papism, adjective papist, also used to refer to an individual, are mainly historical, pejorative words in the English language for Roman Catholicism.
Roman Catholicism, the Pope.
Wow.
So he's telling you, right? He's telling you in his introduction that he don't want you to be tricked by the Catholic Church, by the Pope. He knew who was trying to get him. He knew, he says, at home or abroad. And he knew who he was. I can look through this quickly. He even knew who he was, right? Even here, if you could read from, let's say here.
For whereas it was the expectation of many who wish not well unto our Zion.
So he knew who he was. Zion is what? Is Israel. He knew that there were people out there that wished not well unto our Zion.
Wow.
And he wanted to stop us from being tricked by popish persons. He's telling you in the introduction. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you something. Let me know if I'm wrong or I'm correct. But your elections in the US is on the 5th of November, correct?
Correct.
Correct. Well, on the 5th of November in the UK, is it the 5th all the time? Or is it just this year?
We don't know
Yeah, you-
around that time.
Yeah, you got it lined up. I already know what you talk about. Wow.
So the 5th of November is when your voting is, when you vote for your king, you vote for your president, right? In the UK, we have something called Guy Fawkes Night, which is the 5th of November. Okay? If one of the brothers can play one of the videos I sent them. Can you get that up?
Yeah, hold on. Man, these people are wicked.
Wicked, man.
Boy.
Wow. Man, all them stories that people be talking about King James, man, ain't lining up with this list.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, think now, yeah. You're voting on the 5th of November, and we've got a specific day that we, not me, but these goddamn devils, that they celebrate on the 5th of November. They celebrate something called Guy Fawkes Night, or it's called Bonfire Night. Right? If you can get that video played.
Check your messenger.
Can I actually play it? If I play it, will it come on?
Yeah, you could play it. Yeah, you can
All
play
right.
it. You sharing the screen.
All right, I'll play it then. I'll play it. All right.
Man, they're wicked.
What Guy Fawkes Night relates to, or do we? Mention Guy Fawkes Night and ask anyone why we celebrate a man through the frequently catastrophic launching of fireworks and over-the-top displays, and you'll get the same answer. He's the bloke who tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament, isn't he?
All right, and so, right, that's a truth. That's truth. If you go to any English person and say, what's Bonfire Night about? Oh, Guy Fawkes. Oh, that's the guy who tried to blow up the House of Parliament. Don't want to mention anybody else, you know. They'll go, the House of Parliament. Right? Let's keep going.
Sure, they'd be right. But you could really spoil the party by asking them why he tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament in the first place. Let's go back. We all know the history of what Guy Fawkes Night relates to. Mention Guy Fawkes Night and ask anyone why we celebrate a man through the frequently catastrophic launching of fireworks and over-the-top displays, and you'll get the same answer. He's the bloke who tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament, isn't he? Sure, they'd be right. But you could really spoil the party by asking them why he tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament in the first place. Let's go back a few years to set the scene. The time of Henry VIII. Yes, the fat bloke with loads of wives.
All right, so he was an Israelite. He was a brother. Right. Now, they're going to start lying a bit here. But this bit is slightly correcting the general synopsis of the story is correct.
He was responsible under the English Reformation for outlawing Catholicism and making the crown the supreme head of the Church of England.
So that's the Most High using these so-called Englishmen to separate from Rome. And during this separation, you all know what's happened.
Church of England was the Protestant arm of the Catholic Church, and Henry VIII wanted to take the power away from the Pope. As you can imagine, this move was not popular with devout Catholics. Unfortunately, continuing to follow the Catholic Church would lead to hefty fines and even being accused of treason, which was punishable by death, usually being hung, drawn, and quartered.
So Henry VIII, basically, to cut a long story short, he must have wanted to marry somebody else and they wouldn't accept it. So he split from them and made his own church and made his own situation just so he can marry this specific woman. It's a foolishness, don't get twisted. But the Most High used this situation for us to separate and certain things can go on, yeah?
When Elizabeth I acceded to the throne in 1558, things got no better for the Catholics.
So this is Elizabeth I, as we spoke about before. Her mother was Anne Boleyn, who we can show you, who was swarthy, who was dark-skinned, all right, or black.
The son, James VI of Scotland, inherited the English throne, simultaneously becoming James I of England. The Catholics hoped for a reversal in their fortunes. They were, however, disappointed. Catholic priests continued to find themselves hiding in priest holes in fear of their lives, while those attending Mass continued to be fined. By law, you had to attend the Church of England, and if you didn't, you'd get fined £20 a month. That wasn't exactly fair, as in those days, the average wage was just £2 a year. And so, back to Guy Fawkes. The intention was to blow up the Houses of Parliament on November the 5th, 1605.
All right then. So, what happened the year before? Anybody know what happened the year before? So he wanted to blow it up in 1605, but what happened the year before? Do we remember? Okay. King James had authorized the translation of the KJV the year before. So
I should have known that. I just read it.
so they're now trying to kill him. But when you're asking the Englishman about Guy Fawkes Day, Guy Fawkes Night, they don't even know that King James was the one trying to be killed. The black man's just been forgotten about. The whole thing's about Guy Fawkes now. So a year later, they're trying to kill King James to stop the translation of the Bible. That's what this whole day is about. Over here, they celebrate a day for trying the attempted murder of King James to try and stop the translation of the KJV. And we're going to go into who Guy Fawkes is, right? So at 1605.
Assassinate James I, or 6th, depending on whether you are English or Scottish, when Parliament was assembled. After that, the hope was to see a Catholic head of state take over the ruling of the country. However, this wasn't Guy Fawkes.
So they wanted a Catholic head of state. Remember, the Catholics are who? They're Rome. Rome had fell away, do you remember? It's come back into power towards the end of the Dark Ages, and now they're trying to take over certain spots. And one of the main spots right now is where? It's England. They know they need this spot. They need Scotland. They need England. Then they can move from there. Okay. So they're trying to put their puppets in place. They're trying to kill off all the black monarchs in England and put their puppets in place. They can't have no black monarchs. It's a madness.
Plan. It was the plan of Robert Catesby, aided and abetted by John and Christopher Wright, Robert and Thomas Wintour, Thomas Percy, Robert Case, Thomas Bates, John Grant, Ambrose Rockwood, Sir Everard Digby, Francis Tresham, and of course, Guy Fawkes.
So as you can see, there's a bag of man involved in this plot, but only one man is celebrated now, and he's actually celebrated in this country. It's sickening, right? And that's the Guy Fawkes. Even though there was a bag of man involved, it was actually a whole. They're trying to think it's just one man tried it. No, this was a plot from Rome, from the Vatican, from the Catholics, try and kill King James. Okay, let's keep going.
Together they acquired a property adjacent to the Houses of Parliament, which had a cellar running underneath. Having spent 10 years in the army, Fawkes was chosen to be in charge of the gunpowder and, ultimately, the destructive explosion. As history tells, The plotters were betrayed when an anonymous letter describing the details of the plot was sent to William Parker, who was due to attend the opening Parliament, and Guy Fawkes was then discovered in the cellar, together with 35 barrels of gunpowder, which would have undoubtedly done the job if they had exploded. Ultimately, Guy Fawkes and several of his fellow conspirators were executed. On hearing of the failed plot, King James decided that there should be an official day each year with bonfires to be lit to celebrate the success of uncovering the plot.
So King James, right, on hearing that this had been foiled, he's now going, listen, we're all going to do a day, and we're going to call it Bonfire Night. So the founder of the day is actually King James, but nowadays he's not even mentioned. And even the word bonfire, he's probably Benji. He was probably a Benjamin. Bonfire. So now it's called Bonfire Night. That sounds like a Benji word, isn't it? Something like the Benjis would say. But he ain't even remembered. No one even knows. I speak to some people in England now and go, "Oh, did you know you tried to kill King James?" What? Did it? They don't even know. They don't think this is wildly known. You come to England, everybody knows. No, King James is like, as I said, he's not very popular. They think he's a white homosexual. That's what they think in England. Oh, yeah, he's a white boy. Yeah, he's homosexual. Oh, he did this.
That's what they think in America.
Like in America, yeah, like in America, yeah.
They try to say he slept with his mama and all types of stuff.
I'm madness. His mom, that's impossible. His mom was dead by the time he was how old? Unless he slept with about 1 year old. His mom was dead from a long time. So, you know what I'm saying? But he was the reputation of him was tarnished over here. But he's the one who coined Bonfire Night, not Guy Fawkes Night. Bonfire Night. They've turned it around and made the terrorist the hero. Guy Fawkes is the hero. How's Guy Fawkes the hero trying to blow up Parliament? Does that make any sense? Why would England try and celebrate a day and someone try to blow up the place and make it? That's similar, right, to making Osama bin Laden the hero. You know what I'm trying to say? It's the same thing. Like, let's say he was really responsible for 9/11. That's like celebrating that day and then making Osama bin Laden the hero and calling it Osama bin Laden Day. That's the same thing they're doing here with Guy Fawkes. Ah, yeah, Guy Fawkes Night. It don't make no sense. The only way that could be the case and be correct is either trying to kill a black man. That's the only way. How else are trying to celebrate this guy, making him the big guy, the hero? He must have tried to kill a black man, innit? Could be the only way. All right, let's keep going.
People chose to also burn effigies of Catholics on these bonfires, while over time, young kids began to take their own effigies of Guy Fawkes round houses, asking "penny for the guy," which would then be burned on top of bonfires. Fireworks were eventually added to the celebrations to represent the blowing up of the Houses of Parliament. And the rest, as you know, is history.
Right? So basically, right, it's now become commercial. And it's not about bonfire, nothing. It's Guy Fawkes Night. He's the hero now. Okay? So let's go into a little bit about Guy Fawkes, right? So 400 years ago, if you could read that, Baba Kusha. I think you're on mute, you know.
One fateful night, over 400 years ago, on the night of the 5th of November, 1605, 36 barrels of gunpowder were discovered hidden behind a pile of firewood in a storeroom beneath the Palace of Westminster in London. Guards also found a man who called himself John Johnson, who had fuses for lighting the gunpowder in his pockets. He was arrested straight away. Once he was in prison, the man was questioned and even tortured to try to make him tell the guards everything about the plan. Eventually, he gave in.
Eventually, he gave in. Right.
Uh,
One, keep going.
The man's real name was Guy Fawkes. Along with a small group of plotters, he had planned to blow up in the Houses of Parliament, killing everyone inside, including King James I and many important nobles. He had hoped that this would spark a Catholic rising in England.
You see, that's what it was. The aim, they try and throw it off and just throw his name in there, including King James, like it did, like it weren't him. They were trying to kill King James. That's what they were trying to do. They're trying to kill the Black King. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take us out of the monarchy, take us out, and spark a Catholic rise. What you mean is you're going to put your own person in, like what we've got now, like Queen Charles that we got in there right now. That goddamn devil. We got those people in now. That's what they were trying to do, is throw one of their people in. That whore Queen Elizabeth that we had. They just threw her in and go, yeah, that's Elizabeth. Elizabeth III, or whatever they called her. It was like, nah. Elizabeth II, I think it was, Salakia. No, it's not, because the original Elizabeth was black. And that's what they tried to do. Okay, so the aim was to kill King James. So now let's go into a little bit about Guy Fawkes. Right?
So, like,
Khan?
so if the real kings and so-called queens were black back then, how did these white folks end up with these last names and with these kingdomship and all of this? I don't get it.
Because after all of the efforts of trying to kill us, they eventually succeeded.
And just took on the name.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
On the name, threw us in there. They'll throw like a puppet queen in there, and kill us all up. But you got to understand, once you've killed certain nobles, certain people in certain key areas, it only takes a couple of years for it to be forgotten. You know, if everyone was to say right now, yeah, you speak to some of your children now and say, "Oh, did you know Michael Jackson was black?" They'll be like,
they wouldn't know, yeah.
They wouldn't know. Do you understand?
Huh.
The tweet Michael Jackson was white, innit?
I mean, if they just go by what the images they show, they probably would think he was white.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Yeah, same thing. So but times it by 30 years, 40 years, and then take out internet, take out TV, take out all that, and then times it by 30 years. It's finished. Do you know what I mean? You just kill out the noble, kill the queen, kill the king, kill the girls, kill the lords. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what they did. They went around wiping out all the lords and putting their people in.
So them people ain't even really the royal people for real.
No, not at all. They're not royal enough.
They're just people that just took on the road. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're like they're the dukes. So you know in the scriptures when Esau had children and they became dukes. They are the dukes. That's what they are. That's their tribes. Their Esau tribes in it. And they put their mandem in, put their people in. And then after the people just forgetting it. And then a lot of us got killed or assimilated into the population. So some of the people over here could be Israel. It could possibly into all four corners, isn't it? And then through slavery, we've come back over here through either the Caribbean or from Africa or from other areas. And we were different. We just come in, look, everyone's white. You know what I'm saying? So, and that can happen in, I'd say, 20 to 30 years. That could happen.
Uh,
And as I said, they made an effort. It's called the Renaissance period. The Renaissance. Renaissance means rebirth, and it was the rebirth of Rome, because Rome fell away for a bit and then came back stronger again.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry for it. I'm sorry to interrupt the class. I just got 1,000. I got a whole bunch of. I need to wait till after class. I got a lot of questions.
No. It's fine, my brother. It's good to ask the questions because it prompts more teaching in it. So it's good to ask the questions. But yeah, that's literally what it was. Do you know what I mean? That's it. And as I says to you, this England is like Esau's mum's yard. So he's made more of an effort to clean certain things up over here. He's made way more of an effort to clean things up. You won't even know certain things is there until you look. You won't even know. There's certain things I didn't even know myself I had to learn. Over in America, things are a bit more obvious. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit more obvious. Over here, it's like, oh, that's done away with now. I'm British, mate. I'm British. I'm from England, mate. I'm from England. I'm like, nah, mate, you're not. Your great grandparents were slaves. They didn't even know that. As I said, they don't even know that. All right. All right. So come on, let's read this then. So this is Guy Fawkes now. We're gonna go into Guy Fawkes. Who Guy Fawkes was. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna show you that what Guy Fawkes' intentions were. If my brother, if you could read from here, Baba Kusha.
Military career. In October 1591, Fawkes sold the estate in Clifton and York that he had inherited from his father.
Stop there. So York is like a place called Yorkshire, like Sheffield, Leeds, all up in that kind of area. Have you ever heard of Yorkshire? Right, keep going.
He traveled to the continent to fight in the 80 Years' War for Catholic Spain against the new Dutch Republic.
Right, stop there. So he fought what we mentioned it earlier about the 8 Years' War, and he's fighting for who? Catholic Spain. Okay, what were they doing in Spain? We had something called the Spanish Inquisition. What was happening during the Spanish Inquisition? Because Guy Fawkes was fighting during this time. He was dealing with this. Okay, keep going.
The new Dutch Republic, and from 1595 until the Peace of Bourbons in 1598. France, although England was not by then engaged in the land operations against Spain, the two countries were still at war. And the attempted invasion of England, led by the Spanish armed in 1588, was only 5 years in the past. He joined Sir William Stanley, an English Catholic and veteran commander in his mid-40s, who had raised an army in Ireland to fight in Leicester's expedition to the Netherlands. Stanley had been held in high regard by Elizabeth I, but following his surrender of Deventer to the Spanish in 1587, he and most of his troops had switched sides to serve Spain.
There. So they'd switched to serve Spain. Who was in Spain? The Catholics. Who are the Catholics run by? Rome, the Vatican, the Pope. Who was King James trying to stop us being introduced by? Popish persons. He knew about this. Who's he trying to protect? Zion. What's he trying to establish? A Jacobian balance. This is what King James was trying to do, right? But Guy Fawkes, this is his upcoming now, right? Now he was serving during the Spanish Inquisition. All right. You could read that, please, Baba Kushya, because if you look at the dates as well, Salakia, I believe it was from 1591 all the way up until around 1603. He was Guy Fawkes was dealing with Spain and switched over to the Spanish Catholics. If you could read that for me, please, the Spanish Inquisition.
The Spanish Inquisition was a judicial institution that lasted between 1478 and 1834. Its ostensible purpose was to combat heresy in Spain, but in practice, it resulted in consolidating power in the monarchy of the newly unified Spanish kingdom. Its brutal methods led to widespread death and suffering.
So basically, its purpose was to combat heresy in Spain. So Guy Fawkes had gone over there and taken part during this time. This is 1478 to 1834. So Guy Fawkes was around during the Spanish Inquisition, and he was helping to support it. So they're using widespread death and suffering, and they're to combat heresy. And as I said, it's a Spanish Inquisition, right? Now, if you could read that, Baba Kushya.
The expulsion of the Jews from Spain was the expulsion, Salakia, of practicing Jews following the Alhambra decree in 1492, which was enacted to eliminate their influence on Spain's large converso population and to ensure its members did not revert to Judaism. Over half of Spain's Jews had converted to Catholicism as a result of the massacre of 1391. Due to continuing attacks, around 50,000 more had converted by 1415.
Right, stop there. So it's showing you here during the Spanish Inquisition. Don't get it twisted. It did eventually go towards those what we call white Jews, and at this point here, these are black Jews that are being killed off. Okay, other people took our role eventually in our position, became Jewish, of course, but these were the Moors or the black Jews at the time, and the Spanish Inquisition is switching these people over into being Catholics or just denouncing their God. And Guy Fawkes was around during that time and helping them. That's why he was made one of their captains. Okay. Let's go back to Guy Fawkes. Yes, we could read from 1604. Remember now, King James had authorized the translation of the scriptures in around 1603 to 1604. Okay? So then what did the Catholic Church try and do? They've gone and done what we're about to read now. You can read that, please, Baba Kusha.
In 1604, Fawkes became involved with a small group of English Catholics led by Catesby, who planned to assassinate the Protestant King James and replace him with his daughter, third in the line of succession, Princess Elizabeth. Fawkes was described by the Jesuit priest and former school friend Oswald Tessimond as pleasant of approach and cheerful of manner. opposed to quarrels and strife, loyal to his friends. Testament also claimed Fawkes was a man highly skilled in matters of war, and that it was this mixture of
Piety.
piety, and professionalism that endured him his fellow conspirators. And author Antonia Fraser describes Fawkes as a tall, powerful built man with thick reddish brown hair and flowing mustache, and the tradition of the time.
Right,
And
stop there. Right, stop there. So I don't want to go too much into his description. But basically, right, he was basically a soldier. He was basically like an assassin. He was basically like a warrior. That's what he basically was. Do you know what I mean? So they've thrown him in and to take part and to make sure that the bomb goes off. That was his main job. I don't know if it says it somewhere here. Yeah. Yeah, just read from here. Oh, sure.
Where again? Salaki.
You see
Okay.
me highlighting it.
Fawkes had taken up his station late on the previous night, armed with a slow match and a watch given to him by Percy because he should know how the time went away. He was found leaving the cellar shortly after midnight, and arrested inside. The barrels of gunpowder were discovered hidden under the piles of firewood and coal.
So Guy Fawkes, his job is on. They say he's made out to be the hero when his only job really was to make sure it goes off. He was just I don't know what you want to call it, the watcher, the man just driving the getaway car. He wasn't the mastermind, but they make out as if he was the hero, and really he wasn't. He was just a guy assigned to make sure the bomb goes off.
Crash out, dummy.
Yeah, man. And this is what England celebrate. So when you have July the 4th, is it July the 4th you guys have? Like Independence Day? Yeah, I'd say this, the 5th of November is the closest thing I can think of an equivalent in the UK. Okay, and it's something that they overlook. It's something that's disrespected, and yeah, this is probably the closest thing that we have over here. Right. Let's keep reading. Let's look into his torture.
Fawkes gave his name as John Johnson and was first interrogated by members of the King's Privy Chamber, where he remained defiant. When asked by one of the lords what he was doing in possession of so much gunpowder, Fawkes answered that his intention was to blow you Scotch beggars back to your native mountain.
What he means is, I want to blow up you niggas. That's what he was really saying.
Wow.
I want to blow you niggas up.
Wow.
Send you back to where you come from. That's what he was really saying. Okay. All right. Keep going.
He identified himself as a 36-year-old Catholic from Netherdale in Yorkshire, and gave his father's name as Thomas and his mother's name as Edith Jackson. wounds on his body noted by his questionnaires, he explained as the effects of pleurisy. Fox admitted his intention to blow up the House of Lords and expressing regret at his failure to do so. His steadfast manner earned him the admiration of King James, who described Fox as possessing a Roman resolution.
A Roman resolution. Because it was
Roman.
Rome trying to take back over to stop the translation of the scriptures. Because some people, as we read earlier, did not want the common man to have access to the Bible. So they were doing their best to take over. They infiltrated and they realized they couldn't stop it. Okay? So according to what we know now, if they couldn't stop it, what do you think they did? Anybody know? They couldn't stop the translation. Do you know what they did?
They tried to over-translate it, didn't they?
They flooded the market.
Son.
They used the Alexandria scrolls and they flooded the market. They're going, here you go, it's RSV, NLT, GNT, ASV, anything T, anything V, just everything, just throw everything in there. So the one they couldn't stop it, but the only way is just to blow the levee, just blow up the dam and flood the whole place. And they just flooded it with confusion. Now you've got all sorts. That's why they use the technique of flooding. They want all nations in their country, all religions. They're flooding it. They know they can't stop the one thing. So allow it. Bring the Muslims in, the Buddhists, the Hindus, the Sikhs, everything.
You know what? That explains all these different denominations and stuff like that right there.
Yeah, man. Flood it. Just flood it. We can't stop it. We're gonna join them. We're gonna join them instead. Just flood the whole place. But no, it's just because of what's it called? The land of confusion. That's what it's called, the land of confusion. It's just confusing the place up, full of all sorts of abominations. Because they can't stop it. And they realized they couldn't stop it. So what did they do? They flooded the market. Now you've got all sorts of translations. But that backfired. Because we started using now something called what? Comparative text. Where sometimes in some versions it's translated slightly better. That's made it worse for them. The GNT Apocrypha sometimes is worse. It's worse for them. Sometimes in some translations it's worse. And what happened? Did the King James, anything happen to the King James Bible? No. Because their own Edomites, most of us have put a spirit on them to protect it. And it was protected. Until they realized it prophesies of their downfall. They're like, don't want that no more. Let me be atheist. No, it don't matter. But at them times there, they were protecting it, man. They had Edomites protecting it, man. Other nations protecting the scriptures, thinking in their mind that it's for them as well. And then when we came with the breakdown, showing them, no, it's not for you. Oh, I don't want that no more. Done away with. Okay, so that's the basic history on it, right? Anything more on that? Yes. So also, Guy Fawkes was hung along with his other plotters. That's another thing. Guy Fawkes was hung, and he was called hung, drawn, and quartered. So that means, as it says here, if you could read that for me, Baba Kasha.
Hanging was the most common form of execution, with traitors often being hung, drawn, and quartered. They would be dragged to the site of execution, then they would be hanged, but not until dead, and would be pulled down while still alive to be cut open to have body parts removed.
Yeah, that's what used to happen.
Wow.
That's what used to happen to traitors in England. And don't get twisted, there were different people that this happened to. Weren't just criminals. It was innocent people this happened to as well. They think you're a traitor, you're gone. But this also happened to Guy Fawkes, right? We hung just before death, cut open. Why did put and have heart removed and guts removed and all that, and then they'll chop up his body and have like his leg over in south, his other leg over in west, his arms in east and north. Do you understand? And his head central. That's what they'll do. Okay, and that's what they did to Guy Fawkes. All right. I believe that's most of what I can find on King James. And also, as we said earlier, showed you earlier, if I can find it, I believe it was, yeah. It said here, the clergy wish to maintain exclusive knowledge of the text. That was a battle that was constantly going on to stop us from having the Bible, to stop us from having it in our languages as well. Because not only English, you got our Northern Kingdom brothers learning in Spanish. You got our brothers learning in French as well. These different languages, it ended up being translated in other languages as well. All right. Does anybody have any questions?
Salakia, King.
Oh, go ahead.
I got another quick information about Guy Fawkes.
What?
So if you don't know, 'cause especially in America, that's why it's good to get the comparative, comparison what's going on in UK, in Europe, and their history, and then also comparing it to what we're going through also in America. So we're able to bridge the gap. So remember when you read that part when they said why they was torturing him, they asked him why did he blow the place up, and then basically he said because he wanted to blow you,
Beggars.
Yeah, right. He wanted to blow back the Israelites, so-called, back to the Stone Ages, right? Well, let me share this on the screen. This is a very famous movie, and I'm just going to share this after I'm done sharing. You go back to sharing your stuff.
Should I stop sharing?
No, I'm gonna share mine. It's gonna stop either way. You go back to sharing yours.
Oh, okay.
Can y'all see my screen? Huh?
Let me stop sharing and see what happens.
Okay.
I can see your screen.
All right, you can see my screen?
This is Judah King.
Allah.
Let's see. All right, here we go. All right. Can y'all see my screen now?
Duh.
All right. Yeah, I remember this movie, V for Vendetta?
Duh.
Right. This movie, the master of the person for this movie is the face of Guy Fawkes himself.
No.
Right?
You
When this
said
movie came out, the face of Guy Fawkes, like
Okay.
how he actually looked, with the the brother was saying with the mustache and all of that stuff, the actual person.
Oh.
Right. They made a movie about it in 2005. It's called V for Vendetta. Right? It's a great movie, right? But if we didn't have the information of what they was having in UK and knowing the background about this guy, Guy Fawkes, as an assassin, we just watching the movie in America and be like, man, this is a great movie. Right? Very informative, it has a spirit of revolution and everything, right? Well, let me scroll down here. Let me show y'all something. It says V for Vendetta. Now, this is the plot of the movie. The film set in a future where a fascist totalitarian totalitarian regime has subjugated the UK, right? So the movie is based in UK, but they pushed the movie to America. Centers on V, an anarchist and mass freedom fighter who attempted to ignite a revolution through elaborate terrorist acts. All right. So what happened with Guy Fawkes in England? They made a movie about it in UK, but then they pushed it to us in America. In the plot of the movie, they said basically he's a hero going against this type of totalitarian, dictatorship type of government, right? And he's a freedom fighter, and he's trying to ignite a revolution through terrorist acts. Now, a terrorist act is always going to be something bad, but they label it like he's a hero, a freedom fighter, right? Yeah, I see the screen, right, Khan? All right. So this is the same Guy Fawkes that the brother was bringing about the history. They made a movie about him, and they put him as a good guy over here in America, right? And they say the protagonist, his name is V. It symbolized the revolution. So what was Guy Fawkes trying to do in UK? They was trying to kill King James to stop him from pushing and finishing publishing the Bible, the King James Bible. So they label King James in this movie as a dictator, They paint him in the role of a villain, right? So now, this same Guy Fawkes, here we go right here. Let me show you this other one. Yeah, here we go right here. All right, this is the mask right here. It says the Guy Fawkes mask, also known as the V for Vendetta, is a mask or anonymous mask. Is a stylish depiction of Guy Fawkes, the best-known member of the Gunpowder Plot, in an attempt to blow up the House of the Lords in London on the 5th of November, 1605. Y'all can see the screen, right? So they made a movie about him, and the movie is called V for Vendetta. Now, if you look up the word V, the V was speaking about the numerical value for the number 5. Right? So the day they had the celebration was on what? November 5th. Right? And now the name of the movie is called what? V for Vendetta, right? Remember, he was hired by the Pope. He's an Edomite. They was torturing him, and he didn't even lie. He just told them straight up because of that hatred that Esau got for Jacob. He just told them straight up, I hate y'all guts. I was trying to blow y'all back to smithereens. Right? And wherever he traveled, he still got that mindset of trying to kill the Israelites, trying to kill King James. Right? So now, the name of the movie is called what?
V for Vendetta.
Right. V for Vendetta. What is the vendetta? What does the word vendetta means? A vendetta means what? A blood feud in which the family of a murdered person seeks vengeance on the murderer or the murderer's family. Look what also it says. A prolonged bitter quarrel with one or a campaign against someone. Right? Vendetta also means what? A blood feud. So now, if you look at the movie, and you look at what the brothers bringing out about Guy Fawkes against King James, they made the title of the movie perfect. V for Vendetta, the 5th, which is of November the 5th, right? So-called Guy Fawkes Day, Bonfire Day. But also they said for Vendetta. What's the vendetta? Between Jacob and Esau. Khan?
God.
Is the war between Jacob and Esau. This man, wherever he went, he wanted to go. This is the war between Jacob and Esau, and a war for power and rulership. Right? And then also, as the brother was bringing out all this information, right? Remember, it said that Satan was like King James is the chief opposition on the earth. While he was young. Why? Because he know his potential. He know his destiny. He know what the Most High set him up for to do in the future. Right? He spoke all different languages. Same as with Paul, he spoke all different language. He was well equipped with tools to help push the word of God and also to make it stabilize. And had the backing, had the power, had the money and the resources. Okay? To do it in righteousness. So many attempts. They trying to kill him. So many attempts. And behind the scenes is who? Jacob versus Esau. It's that vendetta, that feud from Genesis 27. After Isaac died, Esau promised his father a damn million years, century promise that I'm gonna slay my brother Jacob. And we see in the hatred worldwide. We see it even now. Look what happened with the sister, Springfield, Illinois. Right? The sister Sonia, I think Sonia Massey. How the cops came in and the hatred they had towards her. She was defenseless. And they didn't care. And the Edomite said exactly what he was going to do. He said, I'm going to blow your damn head off. She said, I rebuke in the name of Jesus. He didn't care. He said, don't you say that. I'm going to blow your damn head off. And she was defenseless. Got murdered through a police camera. And the guy that killed him had his camera off. He was shocked that his partner had his camera on. And that's what's happening in America right now. So this is showing you the hatred that Esau has for us worldwide, not just in America, not just in UK. You might find somebody in Spain or China or whatever, have some information about these damn devils from their perspective, their history, and their land. And this devil has hatred towards us all over the earth. Through all the time periods, man. Khan? And they made a movie about it. Beautiful information. Good. How are you?
Gotta protect these brothers, Peter and Cat. I could have swore I heard somebody in the back like, stop him. Protect these brothers, bro.
You gotta keep us all safe, man. Yeah, this is, man. I yield, man. Beautiful, beautiful lesson, man. Oh yeah, and just to let y'all know how real this is, Shemaiah been doing the class for the YouTube for more than 3 years already. You know, he runs the YouTube. This is the first time he wasn't able to set up the YouTube because he had electrical power problems in his basement. Out of all the times, brothers bringing out a lesson like this about the Guy Fawkes trying to assassinate King James and blowing him up with the dynamites and the crates and everything from the basement to the top of the damn castle. And the brother had an electrical problem with his basement tonight and could have damn near caught a fire if he didn't catch on to it early. So that's why the YouTube live is not streaming right now. But we will be saving the video footage for this and upload it on the YouTube, Lord willing, about next week. You know, so there's a beautiful lesson. Satan is trying to work on all aspects, but
yes, man.
We're gonna keep it going. Let me show.
Yeah, he is, man. He don't want this information to be out there, man. He don't want people to know what he's up to. And that vendetta thing. Yeah, I'm learning something myself still. A bitter feud, a bloodthirsty, bitter feud, and that's Esau having a perpetual hatred for his brother. Perpetual hatred, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
God, are you okay? Yeah, you could take over. Are you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, so that's some history about Britain, man. To show you that these devils are trying it over here too. They tried it over here first. You understand? They tried it over here first. They had to kill some niggas over here first to get to where they need to get to. That's why England has got so much, so many things to answer for. All this slavery, all these things. It's England, man. They're the ones ensuring the slave boats, doing all this stuff. So, yeah, man, just to give you guys some history on what England's really up to. What they don't need to know. They even denounced bonfire night as a national holiday as well. People still do it. They still do it. Just It's always the same. When you come here 5th of November, you'll see the fireworks everywhere. But officially, they try to denounce it as a holiday. So yeah, man. That's why sometimes that's what we do. 5th of November, try and get out there and rebuke this wicked kingdom.
Oh,
Calm. I'm saying. But yeah, man. I'd say that'll be it for my lesson. If anyone's got any questions, I think you guys have a couple questions. If anyone's got any questions, fire away, man. If anyone's got any comments, fire away.
God.
Beautiful.
I got a.
Beautiful.
Go ahead, King.
Beautiful class, son. Salakia, King. I was just telling Brother Peter, man, beautiful class. All right. That was very edifying. You should do more classes more often, Ak. All right. Stop playing with us over here in the UK, King. Gonna start doing more classes, Ak. All right.
Water. Man, you know all it is? It's the time difference, you know.
I know y'all like 7 hours. You know what I'm saying? 7 hours apart from us. I know that's the problem.
Like it's like 4 a.m. now for me, you know, like 20 past 4 a.m. I got work in like 3 hours. Do you know what I mean? That's the only thing. That's the only thing. So I can do it every now and then. What I've done is I drank some coffee. My wife made me some dinner late. I went to bed like 8 o'clock and just banged it up. You know what I'm saying?
God. Yeah, it was a beautiful class, King.
Yeah, man. You know, all praise the Most High, man. Praise the Most High, Yahweh, all day, man. It was a pleasure. It's a pleasure, man.
Yeah, I got a quick precept. Isaiah 62. Yeah, I know you said it's like 4 a.m. over there.
You want to read that for you? Yeah. What you say? Isaiah what?
Yeah, Isaiah chapter 62 and verse 6. Huh?
I said, call it again. I'll read it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, Isaiah chapter 62 and verse 6.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 62 and verse number 6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace, day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silent.
Right. The Lord said watchmen upon the walls. The watchmen, those that's teaching the Bible, teaching the word, waking the people up, understanding the time, speaking about the current events. And it says day or night, right? It's nighttime right now in America, right? And it's about to be daytime in the UK right now. Where I'm at, the Midwest Central Time is like 6 hours difference, right? So the Lord said, he said, watchmen upon the walls, day or night, they shall not mention, make hold of their peace. Read on, or keep silence.
Okay. Verse 7, and give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth.
Right. This word is going out all throughout the 4 corners of the earth. All timelines, time zones, night, day, sunrise, sunset, the YouTube information, right? The books the brother brought out, stuff that was written in the 1600s, 1400s, 1700s, 1800s, right? So many book and information that we're able to get these together and have comparative text as well, and bring the best of what we got to show how this place is wicked as hell now. But with his wickedness, the darkness got to, for the light start to shine even brighter. In the midst of all this chaos. And I'm about to watch this movie again, V for Vendetta, goddamn. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
Open up with that spiritual eyes, man. And hopefully learn a lot of stuff with King.
No, I was agreeing. Like, Khan, we gotta watch that movie over again.
Yeah. And all of this stuff. Camelot, what's the other one? King Arthur. You know, a lot of these movies, man. Once you understand the history and the information that is about you, and they lied on us, all these shows that we watch, Vikings, Ragnar Lothbrok, right? You had the Kings of England. You had Charlemagne, the original Charlemagne, not the one on the damn radio station. The original King Charlemagne. You know, King Arthur, all these people were black. And there's a book called The Negro Kings of Scotland. It speaks about all of that too as well. You know, so we didn't just rule North South America. We didn't just rule parts of Africa. We ruled everything, England, everything. You know.
Khan. Salakia. There's a film that you guys should watch. It's called The Outlaw King. Let me see if I can get it.
The Outlaw King?
Called The Outlaw King. See if I can get it. Get it on the screen.
Yeah, Peter, you better watch out after this lesson, dog. They gonna send the Guy Fawkes again. You got it.
Next time. Yeah,
bloody hell, bruv.
Trust me, all you do is buy them a beer. See these Edomites, just get them a beer. Tell them the pub's open soon and they'll be all right.
Right, the pub is gonna be open. Irish Spring. Whack them with a shillelagh. You're not committing your choice.
Get my bacon sandwich. I'll leave you alone, man. All right, see here. Look, it's called The Outlaw King.
The Outlaw King.
Okay. The Outlaw King. Right now, if I go into the Wikipedia on The Outlaw King, right, it's a film about Robert the Bruce. Now, Robert the Bruce is like the great ancestor to King James.
Okay.
So the Outlaw King, and he's got a friend. He's got a madman friend. Where is his name now? His name's Douglas the Black. Let me see if I can find him. Douglas the Black, or the Black Douglas. All right. That's his name, James Douglas. The Douglas are also. Oh, I can't even open it. Why can't I open that?
They're coming at you, Art.
Won't even let me. Let me try this one. Let me try this one. See, this one's called. His name was Sir William Douglas. Right. He was also known as the Black Douglas. Where's his nickname? He's got a nickname somewhere. Called the Black Douglas. You definitely watch that film. It's called The Outlaw King.
The Outlaw King?
Yeah, The Outlaw King. You got Robert the Bruce, who's called Robert the Brush. And then you got his name was the Black Douglas, but it was called the Black Douglas for a reason. Let's see if I can find it. The Black Douglas. Why was he called the Black Douglas? Yeah, they're chatting shit. They're saying about his reputation. But it was because he was a killer. He said they said his evil success against them was because he was a demon himself. So basically, he was like a killer. He was a great supporter.
Man, I can tell you, you come to America, every hood, they got a nigga named Black, man.
When you watch this film, when you watch this film, trust me, that's what I'm saying. This guy is a madman. He's a madman. Straight madman. And he's
that sounds similar to Vlad Tepes being called Dracula. You know what I'm saying? He was called, he said, you said that he was called that for a reason because he had that demon king.
Yeah, man.
He
was a straight killer.
Killing their ass.
He was a straight
killer. He a killer.
Killer.
Torturing Ishmael.
And when you watch this film, the Black Douglas, he was a killer. And they had tactics of war as well. They'll be fighting against the English. They were the Scottish fighting against the English. And the English are all getting drunk and messing around. And the Scottish are like praying and they're knighting each other. And tribes are coming together and bringing their best warriors. And then the English are in the same contrast, getting drunk and getting pissed up and messing about. Do you know what I'm saying? Where the Scottish are like, when you watch the film, you can blatantly see the Scottish are the Israelites and the English is Esau.
Con.
You can blatantly see it. Brilliant film. Brilliant film. Brilliant film.
It's called The Outlaw King.
It's called The
Outlaw. Outlaw King is on Netflix.
Netflix
You
film.
can type that in. Con, you could type that in and see it immediately.
Yeah.
I just
watch that joint expeditiously.
And this is the ancestors of King James.
God.
And you can blatantly see the way the Scots are going on. The Scots are fighting like niggers, and the English are fighting like Esau.
God.
Yeah, man. Brilliant
Watched
film.
it. Oh yeah, you seen Supercell?
Yes, Sin Supercell.
Man, that joint fire, man.
Yeah. You know, I used to think there's something up with man with sickle cell. You know, when have you seen how it goes? People with sickle cell trait. And they got
That's
powers.
what they were talking about. Yeah.
I used to say to the nurse, you know, what does sickle cell trait do? She said, "Oh, you got they said I've got a sickle cell trait in it." This is when I was a kid. I was like, "What does sickle cell trait do?" And I'm watching this film, I'm thinking, yeah, they know something, you know.
Yeah. And it said the sickle cell trait mostly targets only black people.
Yeah. AKA Israelites.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
What's another movie you recommend?
Outlaw King, Supercell. What other film should I recommend? Obviously, Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah.
Or the old ones.
Yeah.
And watch the old ones. You see Planet of the Apes, the old ones, yeah. They're not even lying to you. They're not even lying to you. Like the old ones now. If you even see the intro, you literally got Edomites getting rounded up in cages straight away.
Oh yeah, time getting gathered up.
Get straight away getting gathered up. The orangutans are like Levi, and you know, if you watch the old ones, there's about 5 of them, the old ones, like 1978, you know, right? In like the third or the fourth one, no, the third, I think it's the second or the third one, right? To find this underground, these got found some humans underground, right? And they're blatantly worshipping a nuclear bomb. They're worshipping a nuclear bomb. It's like church, and at the church, at the top of the cathedral, is a nuclear bomb. And then do you know when you go into the credits? You know the credits at the end of the film?
Yeah.
There's obviously in these films back in the day, there's like 3 black people in the film, right? And obviously back then, you remember back in the day when a nigga dies first in the movie?
Yeah, immediately, right.
This is the prime time for that. The nigga Gary, he's the first man dead. Man pops down in the desert, is gone. Do you know what I'm saying? And then when you check the credits, yeah, when you check the credits, in I think it's the second one, right? One of the black guys, his name in the film is the nigger, or something like that, or the Negro.
Wow.
He's running. Fam, check the credits. Check the credits on them films, yeah. His name is the Negro, or the nigger, or something mad like that. I couldn't even believe it.
Dang.
I couldn't even. So watch the old Planet of the Apes. That'll tell you everything you need to know. They don't hide nothing.
Right. The old Planet of the Apes, they hit different. You know what I'm saying? With the leader, with Caesar, he had a garment down to the foot, green, and the color of the barrel. I'm like, yo, they never really read the Bible and called Christ a monkey, though. Like, they really did that, man. Just garbage people, man.
And you know the orangutans in there, they're like the tribe of Levi. And then when you check their garment, it looks like they've got like Hebrew written on their garment. It looks like they've got Hebrew inscribed on their garment. Yeah, man, good film. They're good films still. The first 4, good films, man. They ain't hiding nothing. good little something. Yeah, so for now, those are the films I would suggest. Stop sharing this.
Yeah, Peter. I'm gonna keep you in prayer, brother.
Water.
Keep you in prayer, brother.
Water.
There's about to be another V for Vendetta. They're gonna be trying to come get your ass.
Man. They wouldn't dare.
Bloody hell, he's exposing the truth of King James. Get up.
Oh man. It'll be the last thing they ever do. It'll be the
MI6 coming out.
With the last thing they ever do.
Good.
Oh man. Funny.
They'll try to rally you up. They say, oh hell no, man.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, beautiful lesson, man.
You know, ever since that Trafalgar Square, yeah? Ever since that Trafalgar Square started holding camp, police would turn up every time.
Yeah, I know.
Every time. Just roll up. Started waving at me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, dry past.
I was telling brothers, man, be on point, man.
Mm.
Yeah, HOI Chicago, every chance they get, boy. Like, this nigga's a straight terrorist. Y'all better watch out. They said, this man, don't let the smile fool you. This man causing problems. Well, I'm just a brother with a Bible lock.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
These demons.
They're going to put y'all on the Queen's hit list.
Yeah, damn. Damn.
Yeah, it was a great time, man. We had a chariot, we'll pull up.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, boys can come down again, man.
Most I will. Trying to work some stuff out.
Second?
I said we're trying to work some stuff out.
All praises.
The Lord allowed it. Unless you call the chariot out, because they're going to call you St. Peter after this one, boy.
Just bring the crew with you, man. Bring the crew with you. Oh, some damage.
You know?
Oh, some damage, man.
Yeah, Gabar go down there, they're going to treat him like Rolo from the Vikings.
God. Because that might be the loudest thing down there. Right? The country gonna echo.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, man.
Bloody hell, Mike, this is a behemoth.
Who the heck is this?
We saw a bear.
That
brother is a bear.
See the bear.
You know what they'll say? They'll say, you're a big one, ain't you? You're a big
right.
How
a barbarian.
A
barbarian is there.
Right.
Do you play basketball?
Yeah, Lee. That'd be lit. We come down there to the UK, bring fire down there.
Oh,
yeah, that'd be lit, man. He said the barbarian has returned.
Yeah, come down, trust me. Look after you, man. Look after you. Come down, man. You'll love it.
You're gonna look at Blackbeard. Say, is that King Arthur? The knights are back. The knights at the round table.
Who is that guy? Who is he?
What's going on here, Mike? Yeah, man. Oh, Joseph side, man. Beautiful, beautiful lesson, man. See, that's what I was saying, Doc. If you would have did the Lucifer lesson, that would have been all right. But this one is more important.
Yeah, I get it still.
You know?
Yeah, more praises.
It gives us some insight on how y'all history, how y'all see things over there, intricate details and everything. You know? So,
beautiful lesson, for real.
All praises, man. All praises, all praises. Praise the Most High, Yahweh, for Yahweh. All day, you get me?
Yeah, now you got to send us them books.
Which books you need? Which books you need?
All of them.
You don't want his Wycliffe thing. You know what this? You know what this
We
was?
need all of them.
You know what this?
Every book you showed on the video, we need. Goddamn, we gonna be walking around like the monarchs of Illinois.
Yeah, I'll send you some stuff. I'll send you some. Yeah, man, I'll send you the link to some of them stuff. But yeah, man, all praises, man, all praises. I think he needs to stop the recording now. You know, where's your DJ?
No, we gonna have this. We gonna have this joint up.
Right.
The file to save and all of that stuff. We gonna have it up. I'll send you it personally, most I will. Yeah, DJ Shemaya, they try to shut him down, man. Then their house almost caught on fire, man. That's what's crazy. Yeah. But so yeah, family, all praise Yahweh Shem Shai. Hopefully, brothers and sisters was edified. Good treat, great lesson from the brother. HOI UK Peter, the leader for HOI UK. I think it's like 7 a.m. over there right now for the brother, but able to hold it down. Grace of God. Want to close it out with the Lord's Prayer? Or you want me to close it out? You got it? You got it, King?
The Lord's Prayer.
Give everybody at least 30 seconds. Watch that joint V for Vendetta and the Outlaw King. Watch that.
Right, is everyone ready facing the east?
Come.
All praises to Yahweh Shem Shai. Wonderful and beautiful lesson. Wonderful to lay with the brothers, with the brethren and the sister. Said the Lord's Prayer. Table of Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Mayim, Kadash, Ayah, Shamkar, Yahweh, Malawafna, Babanaya, Razkar, Ayah, Ashar, Bahaduratazar, Kawa, Ayah, Bashamayim, Nathan Lawanua, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasanakanawa, Kabawakanawa, Kasalakanawa, Kabawafanyanawa, Walaa, Tabanafanawa, Bayashawayam, Abba, Yawashanawa, Ma, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Alamakwaf, Yalawa'a, Walakawafwaf, Lamawayam, Aman.
Amen. Come. Shem Mashiach Yahushua.
All praises, my brothers.
Praises, all praises, man.
All praises, man. All praises. Tell your DJ to stop the recording so it saves, right?
All right, Khan. I think you're able to stop it.
I can stop it. I can stop it.
Yeah.
All right. I'll press stop now. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.